In this unit, we're going to talk about how to do some different operations with polynomials. And so to start, it might be a good idea to know what a polynomial is. So it is an expression with many terms. All right, very general. It can be lots of different things. It could be numbers, it could be variables, it could be numbers and variables together. They could be multiplied, they could be added, they could be subtracted. All of these are all polynomials. Right, and we want to write our polynomials in what's called standard form, which just means that our exponents go least to or greatest to least. Okay, so we start with the highest exponent and then we work our way down to the constant, which is just like a number. So if I want to put this polynomial in standard form, the highest exponent is 2. So I'm going to start with 2x squared. All right, remember this x has like an exponent of 1, so the next is going to be 3x, and then my constant, my number, comes last. All right, so same thing here, highest exponent is 3, so I'm going to start with 7k to the third, and then my next exponent would be 2, so k squared. The next one would be just k, and then finally my constant term. All right, so you go ahead and pause here. I'm going to have you do number 4. So we should have negative n cubed plus n plus 24. Make sure that you get whatever sign is in front. Make sure that comes with you when you move things around to put it in standard form. So this is minus n to the third, so we need to write negative n to the third. We can also classify polynomials, which means like put them in a category, and we do that based on the degree and the number of terms. The degree is the highest exponent. Okay, so whatever the highest exponent is, that determines the degree of the polynomial. And then for number of terms, terms are separated by addition or subtraction. So each time you see a plus sign or a minus sign, that means that's a new term. Okay, so we always write degree first, and so there are different names depending on what the degree is. All right, so a degree of 0 means I don't have a variable at all. I just have a number. We call that a constant. A degree of 1, meaning my highest exponent is 1. And remember, usually you're not going to see the exponent written, so it'll just look like x or a or whatever letter they use. We call that linear. If the highest exponent is 2, it's quadratic. If the highest exponent is 3, it's cubic. And if the highest exponent is 4, it's quartic. So like number 7 here, it's just a number, so that is constant. Okay, whereas this one, negative 2x, that highest exponent is 1, so this would be linear. All right, then we also have to talk about the number of terms. All right, so if there's one term, it's called a monomial, 2 terms, binomial, 3 terms, trinomial, and then 4 or more, we don't bother with different words. We just call them all polynomials. So this one, just 6, so this is a constant monomial, both words together to describe it. Okay, this one is, we already know it's linear, but again, just one term, so this is also a monomial. Okay. If we look at, let's say, number 10, okay, my highest exponent is 2, so that makes this quadratic. And then there are 1, 2, 3 terms, because remember, every time there's a plus sign or a minus sign, that's a new term. So 3 terms, so this is a quadratic trinomial. Okay, why don't you give number 12 a shot? All right, so then what we want to do is we want to add or subtract polynomials, and all we're doing is combining like terms. And we're going to put them in standard form, so we're going to start with the highest number. So when it's addition, I'm just looking at what's the same. So this has an exponent of 2, and this has an exponent of 2. So I'm going to put them together. Negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1, so I have x squared. Okay, my next highest exponent would be 1, so I have 11x minus 5x, so that would give me 6x. And then my constants, I have 13 and negative 23. So 13 minus 23 is going to be negative 10. And that would be my final answer because there's no more like terms and it's in standard form. All right, now when we're subtracting, a lot of times people forget that each term has to be subtracted. So what I like to do is treat this as a -1 and distribute it. So I have my original, and then I'm going to multiply each of these things by -1. So -1 times 7x gives me -7x. -1 times 3x squared gives me -3x squared. And then -1 times 1 gives me -1. So it changes all the signs of things so that I don't have to remember to subtract. All right, so again, I'm starting with my highest exponent, which is 2. So I have 4x squared minus 3x squared, which is 1x squared. All right, then my next highest exponent is 1, so I have 5x minus 7x, that's -2x. And then all I have left over is -1, there's nothing to combine it to, so I bring it down, and that would be my final answer. And that is how we add and subtract polynomials.